Hey, anime screamers! Welcome to my reaction, and on here is Wansee Entertainment, and I'm going to do reactions to the two newest videos. The reaction to their videos. Wansee Entertainment is about horror. I haven't seen the true part, but it already marked, but I haven't seen it. So
Are you having trouble paying for healthcare, rent, gas, groceries, and other bills? Then you've got to see this.
When I was 10, I was playing outside in the park with my little white bunny. I was letting her eat the grass, but suddenly she stood up. I usually don't see her do this because I never let her get near anything dangerous. But she sensed something dangerous. I didn't know where that danger was, and I thought it was nothing. So I just continued to watch my bunny. However, she zoomed to the corner of the park fence. I was super confused. Plus, it was almost sunset, and I had to go home. So I picked her up gently, with my other hand supporting her bum. I was getting a chill, so I walked fast, in case the danger she sensed was following. I looked back. Itchy sunglasses. And I saw he had a bulldog with him. It was rolling, and it looked like it wanted to eat me and my bunny. So I booked it out of. I ran as fast as I could, hoping he didn't let the dog free. I hugged my bunny near my chest so she wouldn't wobble around while I ran. And when I looked back again, his hand was on the dog's collar. He was about to remove the leash. I was tearing up. But then I saw my neighbor. He's a 6'1", 20-year-old man. So I ran to him and hid behind him. He was confused about why I hid behind him, and I explained, that man is about to let his bulldog free, and it might eat me and my bunny. And with that, he looked surprised and angered, probably because why would anyone do that? Don't they know if they let the scary dog free, the dog will get shot? Even though the park was near my house, it was 2 minutes away, and I couldn't run any faster because I was only 4'6". He told me to get back safely with my bunny, so I did. As I was walking home, shaking, I heard my neighbor yell, "If you let your bulldog free, I will call the barangay." But it seemed like the man didn't care. After a few minutes, I got home. I put down my bunny, and she hopped away slowly. I started crying, and I called for my mom, but she wasn't home, so I sat down on my bed, crying. Did I just get an emotional shock from a man and a bulldog? I don't know. But to this day, I avoid bringing any pets to the park that will be considered a type of prey. I'm 14 now. Although my bunny passed away due to sickness, I ask those who bring such small animals to the park to please try to avoid any big predators and strange looking men.
okay. Now next, dang it, commercials.
The best thing about Chime is being paid up to 2 days early.
Install the Chime app today.
My name is Jose, and I would like to share a terrible memory I have about chocolate. About 4 years ago, when I was 18, I went to a chocolate shop and met a guy named Evan. I still vividly remember his bright smile. His teeth were brown because they were all smeared with chocolate. When he offered his hands for a handshake, his hands were stained with chocolate too. But he was very friendly, and we soon became friends. He was a chocolate maniac. He even always had chocolate inside his pocket, so his pocket was bulged. However, I did not realize how dangerous he was. As we got to know each other better, he often gave me chocolate. I just accepted it at first, but I started to feel more and more uncomfortable. But what was even more strange was that he watched me eating the chocolate, and every time I swallowed it, he let out an exclamation and hugged himself. One time, when I deliberately didn't swallow the chocolate out of curiosity, he stared at me for a long time and tried to open my mouth, yelling at me and wanting to know why I wasn't swallowing it. He only calmed down after I swallowed it. As time went by, he became more and more strange. One day, he brought me a box of chocolates and told me to eat them all. I said I didn't want to, but he shouted at me as if entreating. "Please, I want to be happy." He suddenly became short of breath and started unwrapping chocolates and stuffing them in my mouth. I took a few, and then he shouted in relief like I had just rescued him from drowning. Thank you so much, really." Then he started to cry. I was perplexed. After that, he started treating me like a VIP. He said he would do anything I asked him to. When I asked him why he was so nice to me, he said, "Because I'll always need you." I couldn't understand what he meant. After that, his chocolate attacks continued. Even when we ate together, he kept putting chocolate in my food. And while we were talking to each other, he kept tossing chocolate into my mouth. I started to get more and more irritated, and I even started to gain weight and become unhealthy. I told him to stop giving me chocolate. Then he suddenly grinned and said quietly, "You need chocolate in your body 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Without that, you're just a piece of meat." I thought maybe he had some strange mental illness and told him not to contact me anymore. Then, a few days later, he sent 30 boxes of chocolate to my house and told me he would no longer contact me if I sent him a video of myself eating them all. I blocked his number. I haven't seen him for a long time. But the story did not end there. After a while, I heard that he had been arrested for murder. He met a girl through a dating app, brought her to his house, tied her to his bed, and poured hot, boiling chocolate all over her body. Her mouth had been wedged open, and the autopsy showed that there were 5 pounds of chocolate in her stomach. And there was a video of her with Evan on her phone in which he was lying in a bathtub full of chocolate saying to her, "If you can survive under this for 1 minute, I'll give you $100. After the police investigated his house, they discovered something even more shocking. There was a huge block of chocolate in the basement, over 7 feet long, and inside it was the dead body of a man. One was shocked. I reopened the last text Evan had sent me. It read as below. "I'm going to fill your body with chocolate. Your stomach and bladder will be filled with chocolate. Chocolate will flow in your veins, and if someone stabs you, chocolate will come out. You will become chocolate. You will become chocolate." At the time, I thought he was just joking, but now I realize he had meant everything he said. I started vomiting, and from then on I started to suffer from a phobia of chocolate. He went to prison, and I eventually met his mother. She told me something shocking. She said that he had harassed her for a long time too, and now just the sight of chocolates made her breathe heavily. Evan had loved chocolate since he was young, and his obsession only grew stronger as he got older. When he was about 16, he was taken to the hospital because he ate too much chocolate, and the doctor told him not to eat it at all anymore. So he said to the doctor, "Then can I feed it to my mom instead?" From then on, she realized that something was strange about him. He had started to force her to eat a box of chocolate every day, and she ended up secretly throwing them all away and lying to him that she had eaten them all. Then one day, he came up to her with a knife and said, "I have to check to see if there's chocolate in your belly." She ran away, leaving him alone and never came back. She cried, saying that she had expected an accident like this to happen someday. When I thought of him, I felt terrible about it. But for my own safety, I decided not to see him again. Time has passed, and he is still in prison. Sometimes I wonder how he's doing.